Hi and welcome to our channel, Come Draw With Us. Today we're going to walk you through how to draw this red raspberry. If you don't want to draw your own sketch, I put a link to my sketch in the description down below. The first thing we'll want to do is turn on the drawing guide. So click on the actions, then click on drawing guide, and then click on edit drawing guide. Select symmetry down below, and then click on done. At this point, anything we draw on one side of the screen will be repeated on the other. So now just follow along how I sketch the raspberry. Next, you'll want to reduce the opacity of this layer, and then add a new layer, and this is where we're going to create our final drawing. So select a brush like the monoline, and go ahead and trace over the sketch that we just created. We want the stem and leaves to be on its own layer, so go ahead and simply add a new layer and trace over the sketch, and then turn off the drawing guide when you're done. Now we're going to create the red and pink texture for the raspberry. So turn off all of your sketching guides, add a new layer, and go ahead and create a texture in the background. For this video, I am using Elena Jensen's acrylic pouring brushes. However, any of the brushes in Procreate would work just fine. Once you're happy with the texture layer, go ahead and move it below your raspberry sketching layer. Then duplicate your sketching layer, and on the bottom sketch, set it to alpha lock by doing a 2-finger swipe, and then fill that layer with the dark raspberry color that you're going to use. Then go ahead and fill in every individual berry. To delete the parts of the texture background that we don't need, on the raspberry layer, click Select and then hit Invert. Then go to the red texture layer and click Clear. That will delete everything except for the shape of the raspberry. We want to do the exact same thing for the stem and leaves layer. So go ahead and duplicate that layer. On the bottom layer, alpha lock it by doing a 2-finger swipe, and then select a green color and go ahead and fill that layer. And then you want to fill in just the first 2 leaves that you'll see me do in this video. We just want to see what part overlaps the raspberries so we know what to shade. So now we want to erase part of the raspberry. So click on that top raspberry layer, and then using an eraser brush, using the soft brush, go ahead and erase away parts of the red. You don't want to erase the parts that you want to stay as a shadow. So now just go ahead and follow along and erase the parts that I do in this video. Once that step is done, go ahead and turn off the black sketch layer, add a new layer above your raspberry texture, and go ahead and select the monoline brush, and we're going to create highlights on each part of the berry. So go ahead and just copy the marks as I do in this video. On that same highlight layer, create the blending mode to color dodge, and then go ahead and reduce the opacity just a little bit. Our final step will be to add some shading and highlights to the stems. So go ahead and fill in the stem layers with the green, and then add some highlights and shading like I do. You can also add some texture if you want to on the stems, and then your raspberry is done.